By now, you all know that my dad passed away. And I've been kind of reflecting on my own life, thinking of experiences where, I've had pain and I've overcome it, trying to find a way to help me to deal with this loss. But this by far is the deepest pain that I've experienced. And they say when it rains, it pours, and that's no lie, because we're still dealing with, the loss of my daughter's father. My daughter lost her father not even 2 months ago. And honestly, I'm struggling, but I'm trying to be mindful of the words that I use, because life and death lies in the power of the tongue. And I don't want to remind myself that I'm struggling, that I'm in a struggle. I want to speak positive affirmations, and I want to be joyful in knowing that, I just want to find joy in knowing that my dad lived a full life. My dad lived to be 86 years young. And I was trying to write in my journal, and the tears just kept flowing. And I have my up and down moments. And in this moment right now, I feel like I want to talk and I want to share about my dad. And I was thinking maybe I could just do like a video journal. And I've seen the comments where you guys have shared that some of you have lost your father or a parent. And so you understand how I feel. 2 phrases you never want to hear in life is time is running out and time has run out. When we visited him for his birthday in July, I said, I'm going to go and see my dad more, because, I could tell that he was frail. He was moving a little bit slower. And I said, you just never know if this is going to be the last birthday that we get to celebrate with him. We went every year for his birthday. And you guys saw in the last vlog that I was, packing up my suitcase. I was going to visit my dad. And I didn't make it. I didn't make it to see him. I had packed my suitcase and gone to bed. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep all night long. I couldn't sleep. And I was telling Kimar, Kimar, my chest hurts. My chest hurts. My chest hurts. I can't sleep. I'm just tossing and turning. And Kimar was just kind of rubbing my back. And early the next morning, my phone rang. And I could hear my brother saying, "Good morning, sis." And I jumped up, and I can hear him saying, "Dad passed." I started hollering. I started just screaming. Kimar came to console me, and I told my brother I would call him back. And when I kind of got some composure, I called him back, and I was just kind of asking him some questions. And he, I realized that he had called me 10 minutes after my dad had passed. So I'm up and down, and I'm just trying to find my way. I spend a lot of time in the bed just crying. Some days I don't even want to get out of the bed. The days seem long, and the nights seem even longer, and I wake up in the night crying. And so the last memory that I have of my dad is him smiling and blushing at his birthday party and enjoying himself. And that's the last memory that I want to keep of him. I want to keep a happy, joyful moment in my head. So so I just want to share like some things that my dad is leaving with me. And really, it's kind of cliche because to know my dad is to love my dad. If you knew him, you would love him. He was generous. He would do anything for anybody. He helped so many people in his lifetime. He was financially savvy. He worked hard. Like, he worked hard, but not as in physical hard labor. He just had good work ethics, you know. He had businesses that he had built, and he worked hard in his full-time job, and he saved his money. He, you know, prepared for retirement, and he really enjoyed his retirement. Like, he really lived and did the things that he wanted to do in his life. And so some of the things that I can take away from my dad is, sometimes people say like I'm mean or I look mean because my resting face is just kind of like a mean mug. But I'm just a no-nonsense kind of person. Like, people might think that I'm mean, but I have a huge heart. And I just have like tough love that I got from my dad. Like, my dad was generous. He would do anything for anybody, but he was also firm, you know. And I'm just like, my mom will tell you, oh, you act just like your dad. So I look like him and I act like him. And I also learned, you know, financial sense from him, you know, because my dad was smart with his money. He always taught me, you know, to pay your bills on time. Make sure that, you know, you don't mess up your credit. Make sure you set aside money for a rainy day, and all of those things that I can hear him saying. I followed those things, and I think that I'm pretty good, you know, with my money. He taught me good financial sense. And he also taught me about family, because my dad loved his family. And sometimes you hear people say family over everything, but that really rings true with my dad. Like, my family is everything to me. My dad loved his family. He loved his children. He took care of his mom up until her last day. He took care of, you know, one of his brothers that passed. He loved his children. I can just hear him saying, you know, when I was growing up, you need to know who your siblings are. You need to, you know who your family is. Even though some of us have different mothers, he made sure that we grew up together and we're a tight family. I love my siblings. I love my siblings. And we're all very close. And even on my mom's side, I mentioned that, you know, we have a small family. It's just my mom, her 2 daughters, and our kids. I mean, we have some extended family members, but I mean, as far as the immediate family, we're very tight-knit, and I love my family. That's something that my dad instilled in us, you know. My dad could cook. That's one thing that I did not get from him. My dad could make a whole new meal out of yesterday's meal, and you wouldn't even know that that's what you ate yesterday. Boy, my dad could cook. My dad could bake. He would make a cherry pie, and I don't even like cherries. My dad could cook. And I still even have a recipe that he wrote down just from his head. Chicken and rice is something that, you know, they eat a lot in Florida, and maybe in like the Cuban communities, like a chicken and yellow rice. And I think I may make that coming up in the few days coming ahead, just as a reminder and in memory of my dad. And I remember even telling him not too long ago that I still have that recipe that you wrote down for me for the chicken and the rice. And he was like, really? I said, yes, I have it. It's handwritten. He wrote it down. I have directions that my dad wrote down, you know, on how to take some of the back roads, like when we're driving to Tampa. My dad was so smart. He was so smart. And just always helpful, always trying to help somebody else. So to know him is really to love him. He leaves behind a huge legacy for all of us, like things that he has instilled in all of us. His children, his wife, his grandchildren, his siblings, their children. And I know that we will get through this together as a family. We will get through this. I'm going to share a story. The day after my dad passed, you guys know I like to go down to the lake. So I went down to the lake and I was just kind of sitting in solitude. And I was talking to my dad and I said, Daddy, did you see your mom? You see Grandma up there? You see Jerry? Jerry was his brother who passed. And he said, yes, baby, I sure did. And I started smiling when I heard the voice. I started smiling and I said, heaven is beautiful. I bet heaven is beautiful. And all of these black birds just started flying over. And I was trying to grab my phone so that I could record it. All of these black birds. I think I shared with you all when my daughter's father passed, I went down by the lake and there were these black birds everywhere. So all of these birds, when I said, I bet heaven is beautiful, all of these birds started flying over. And then some of them just kind of rested on the light post. And I felt a peace come over me because I know that my dad is at peace. He lived his life to the fullest. He lived a good life to the fullest, to the end of his life. And I know that my dad is in a better place. Heaven received him with open arms. Heaven received my dad with open arms, and he's reunited with his mom and his dad and his brother. And one day, I will get to see him again.